who are going to be watching this. This is my first series in an interview called Evangelism with Passion and Creativity. And I have Jeremy Smith here with me. And Jeremy, why don't you start us off by telling us a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Jeremy Smith. I am an avid blogger. I blog at my own blog at 78p.tv. But then I have stuff all over the web where I get to collaborate with a lot of different people. And then I've been doing youth ministry for the past 10 years now, and just got out of that and working with kids directly, and currently doing social media for Youth for Christ nationally and internationally, trying to help them figure out how to do social media and blogging well at a national and local level. So a lot of great things going on for me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm fairly new to Google Plus myself, so you and Dustin Sout and a couple other guys are actually the first people I met there. So I've been following your stuff for the short period of time that I've been on Google Plus. So I really appreciate what you're doing and know that you're making a big impact for Christ. So to elaborate a little bit on kind of what we're going to be talking about for those of you watching, the interview series is really about kind of showcasing people who are out there, doing work for Christ and using their passions and creativity in what they do and reaching the lost and discipleship. So, like you said, Jeremy, you are big into church tech and working with youth. So, my first question for you is: was there kind of like an aha moment for you where you realized, this is what you want to do with your life and this is how you want to serve?
I think that as far as an aha moment in the sense of trying to figure out what the whole gamut of church tech looked like, it wasn't a big aha moment until just within the last couple of years. But trying to figure out what I want to do in life has been also a journey of, I'm really great at technology, and so I got my undergrad in computer engineering, but then I had this passion from God to be able to do youth ministry, and what does that look like? And so I followed that route for quite a while. And now it seems like I'm coming back into this, what does this mean for people online? And I've just been trying to slowly build what does it mean for being a resource for people and trying to build up 78 Productions and all of this. And so trying to engage well with the different networks and the blog and trying to be able to help churches do things better has been almost, it's not something that was like at one moment, wow, this is definitely what I want to do. It's more like I know the skills I have. I know what God's been calling me to do to equip people. And that's probably my lean, is to engage with people that want to be able to do stuff better, to help them out, to be able to have that ability to set them up for success.
Okay, great, man. That's awesome. A lot of people, aren't as confident in the skills they have, as you just talked about. So I guess kind of in light of that, for people who are kind of feeling out their calling and how they want to serve, what advice would you give them as they're searching that out? Because, I'm a firm believer that there's hundreds of thousands of people out there in the church that are sitting in the pews wanting to engage and wanting to step out and be a light for Christ, but they just don't really know kind of where to begin. So can you give us a little insight maybe, or kind of advice for those who are kind of at square one?
Sure. I think that the biggest thing as far as this goes is to know who you are as a person. So I understand that I have a natural bend towards church technology and how does that work well, and that's my gift set. And then also on top of that, my own ability to be able to engage with people. I've done a lot of different inventories where you take those inventories and they basically tell you your entire soul by a sheet of paper, and it's amazing how that kind of works out. But to be able to really understand yourself and to know that if you are a quiet person, then maybe you have a different role in the church as opposed to if you're a boisterous person or somebody that just naturally loves to engage in prayer or Bible studies or teaching or whatever it is, and to not necessarily force something that is not necessarily there. And so a lot of the stuff that I've been doing as far as engaging online and trying to do these different things is my natural bent isn't necessarily to leadership within a bunch of people, but to be able to engage one-on-one. My lean is to have those conversations one-on-one with people and to be able to say, you know what, I want to help you. And so if I just were to stand up at a conference in front of thousands and thousands of people, I wouldn't be the same person as I am right now. But to have these one-on-one conversations, to have the hangouts that we do, to be able to have the blog articles and to do the research, that's me. And so I love sitting in front of Excel and filling out data sheets and trying to connect people with resources that will help protect the kids, protect church members. There's a lot of check-in data for churches to be able to use, or to be able to set up projectors. For me, that's my natural thing, and that's how I just kind of roll with it.
That's great. That's some really good advice. I'm kind of in the same boat where, I know my gifting's writing. And when I first kind of started feeling that out, I felt I had to kind of promote myself and get in front of a lot of people. Man, that's just not me. I get in front of a crowd and I freeze up. Heart starts beating like crazy. And, it's so important to know the specific skills that God has given you. And, if you're kind of straying away from that, then you're not really doing what God's called you to do. So, that's great advice. So I got one more question for you, and I'll let you go. Whenever you start out something, or anything really, in any endeavor, that you're going to face opposition, and there's going to be hurdles, and there's going to be a learning curve, especially when it comes to tech, if you're not natural to it. So do you have any obstacles that you overcame when you first started?
Well, I think for me the biggest obstacle in all of this has been to be able to find a voice that in all of it would actually work out. And so some of it started off with just being able to engage on a blog, and what did that look like, and knowing that a lot of blogs out there were wanting to make a profit, wanting to find the numbers, and I didn't necessarily care about that. I just wanted to be a resource, and if people loved it, they loved it. If not, I created the resource for myself and just shared it with everybody else. And that was an initial hurdle to break off from this blogger mentality of I need to be able to be a success. And I just don't care about that, honestly. And so when you see my blog posts going up, it's really when I meet with someone and do an interview, I'm asking questions that I care about. And if it's a benefit for everybody else, awesome. That's what I want the website to be. And then the other part of it, at least within technology and with what I've been doing, is trying to find a place that would be the proper voice. And so people ask, social media, what is a place I should be able to engage on? Should I engage on all the different social media networks at one time because that's scary? Or should I focus on one, and if I should focus on which one? I think that I started out with Facebook, and that's the premier one, the network that has 1 billion users that are always on. And I wasn't getting engagement because everybody that I was connected with on Facebook were family and friends. And so it just didn't work out that way. And then I ended up finding Twitter and then eventually Google+. And to have those different connections that I simply sat there and tested out what was going on, and to be able to have the patience and understanding that it might not necessarily come right away really was a big component of me trying to have success online. And so to be able to have the patience, to be able to have the natural understanding that sometimes it's just completely out of your hands, was a big step for me within the social realm.
That's great. I know that was probably pretty freeing for you, because I don't think there's a blogger out there who doesn't, struggle with that and, want to find a way to kind of monetize things and, become a big deal. But yeah, you're right. Success kind of starts in here and doing what God's called you to do. So that's great.
The reality is that we all have brands. I mean, 70 Productions is a brand, and I have my shirts that I hand out, and I want to get it known. I want people to know this resource if they're actually going to be using it. But at the same time, if my numbers dip down to only 100 people view my blog a day, then that's okay too. If it skyrockets to 20,000 people, awesome, but it probably won't change. I probably won't be adding any more advertisements or changing the format of the way I do the blog or social media. I'm just going to keep going at it as I am and let people keep enjoying whatever I have to offer.
Well, I know you got a pretty good audience, man. I'm one of them. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate what you do and your heart for God and how you serve. Uh, uh, so tell us where you are on all the different social networks so I can link to it and so people can find you.
Sure. Well, I love Twitter, so you can catch me at 78 prod, which it's just a short account there. But then you go to Google Plus, and that's probably my primary social network that I engage on, and I love to be able to work within the church tech community. So I have my own personal account, or you can search for 78 Productions. But if you really want to engage with me, probably the best way is to go on Google Plus, search for a community called Church Tech. I will be posting something. I'll be commenting on something. I'll be liking everything. I'll be sharing stuff. So search for me there and have a voice there to be able to talk about what it means to have church technology and engage and help other people when they have their own questions and ask your own questions so you can be successful in your own church.
Great. Well, for those of you watching and reading this online, I'll put all those links for you down at the bottom so you can connect with Jeremy. He's an awesome guy. Got a great heart for the Lord. So, Jeremy, thanks again for being with me, and look forward to being part of the Church Tech community on Google Plus. And I'm not on Twitter a whole lot, but I'll definitely find you there as well.
There you go. Very good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeremy.